And he did believe in a supreme being bringing life on earth. Bringing life, okay, bringing life to this earth. He believed that. And if he would have been reading the scientific journals, which he would have been doing if he was a scientist, he would have read Louis Pasteur's 1856 publication, the French botanist or the French scientist who saved the wine industry by coming up with biogenesis. That is, all living things came from some kind of parents that lived. Isn't that simple? Isn't that simple? No, you cannot lock up grapes in a vacuum and worms start coming out of them. Something's got to fly on it to lay an egg, or something's got to fly through the air. There's got to be something to meet that grape as it begins to fall apart. And that's what Louis Pasteur proved in a laboratory, and that's science. Not theory. That's fact. And so Darwin, without reading that, published this idea of spontaneous generation. That is, that in certain instances, life can come from nowhere or nothing or non-living matter. Okay? Impossibility. So what do we get from this whole idea? Okay, number one, what man says about man in evolution, he says survival of the fittest. He says spontaneous generation. And basically what he's saying is that the strongest survives. Did you not know, folks, that we get our whole idea of capitalism? We get our whole idea of our Western civilization concept from this concept that really came from the Greeks. Survival of the fittest. And because we're stronger, we deserve to rule. Okay? And because we're stronger, we deserve to treat you like nothing or a non-human or a non-entity. Once again, folks, the value of anything is based on its purpose and reference point. And if I believe that my purpose is to rule because I have survived, and believe that your purpose, therefore, is to serve because I'm stronger, Adolf Hitler, a disciple of Nietzsche, who was a disciple of Darwin. If I believe that, then yes, I can exterminate you. Yes, I can enslave you. Yes, I can without conscience, because there is no God. There is no God. This whole idea of capitalism. I feel good about my success. Why? Because I'm doing better than you. Isn't that amazing? Not because I've done my best, but because I'm doing better than you. I've not had to crawl and suffer like you. I've got more than you. I've got a better suit than you. Remember, in junior high school, we put our shoes together sometime. Okay, you'll come from Gallencamp. Okay, no, I mean, camp by day, sleep by night, or something like that. We had some kind of saying about it. Okay, hey, and then when you walked in with Stacey Adams, oh man, hey, and folks, where do we get that mindset from? We get it from being programmed by evolutionary thought. That's where we get that idea, those ideas from. We feel bad about ourselves. We feel valueless because we don't have what others have. We have not succeeded as others have succeeded in certain areas of our lives. And we, again, the value is based on reference point. Based on reference point. Okay? I don't like me because I have to wear Gallencamp. Okay? U.S. kids instead of Converse. Okay? All right? $10 shoes instead of Air Jordans. Amen? And our kids, we allow our children to immerse us in debt over the popular brand names. Isn't that amazing? They gonna laugh at me. They gonna look at me. Evolutionary, programming. That's where that comes from. I'm back to that in a moment here. The other one is determinism. Determinism. And number three, the third one is what's called fatalism. Fatalism. Determinism, fatalism. What's happening in determinism? Fatalism, they're very, very close. And the idea is that, hey, what's going to happen is going to happen, and I may as well not even try to change it. Okay? All right, my daddy was a drug addict, I'm a drug addict. Okay? I've been a drug addict for so long, I can't change. Look here, this is just for me. It was supposed to be this way. Okay? The big cop-out, all right? It's just supposed to be this way, okay? I've been alive all my life, okay? Look here, I ain't never had nothing. It just ain't, it's just not in the cards for me to have anything. Everything I try fails, okay? And so it's just not in the cards, okay? It's for some, but for others, no. The major cop-out, okay? Fatalism, all right? And believe it or not, there are a lot of the people, the founding fathers of our country, who were what was called deistic in their theology. What does deism mean, or deistic? The idea of theism is just theology, study of God, okay? And then deism is believing that God wound the universe up like a clock and then turned it loose and said, run on down, and I have nothing to do with the affair, so don't pray to me, don't call on me, because I'm not going to help. Okay, I got you here, so look, you manage your own problems, okay? And that's why in our preamble, of the people, by the people, for the people. You see that? Okay? Under God, but of the people, by the people, for the people, we are the last word in our affairs and not God. Okay? That's why it says it like that, folks. So, that's what man thinks. Those are some of the thoughts that man has about man, folks. And once again, as I said, the fatalist, he believes that it's going to happen, and because it was planned years ago, it was determined years ago, and you just can't change it. And there's a lot of people who believe that, folks. And when you look at the Eastern world of the Hindus, the idea of the caste system, you can birth a caste system out of this philosophical base or orientation or reference point. You see that? All right. I'll be home in a minute, folks. Be home in a minute. The next thing is, I'd like for you to just listen with me for a moment, where we get a lot of this. I mentioned the Greeks. Greco-Roman ideas are still here today. You know, I've shared with you before, the first people to look at the curves of the human body were the Greeks. All right? If you look at the East even today, the only thing you can see on a woman you meet is their eyes. Okay? And you don't know how the teeth look, you don't know how the smile look, you don't see any of that, just the eyes. All right? And you better not try to talk to her during the daytime. Okay? In public, okay? You better not, all right? Because that's a no-no. That's in the East. But the Greeks were the ones, if you look at their art tells you where their minds were. They got the curves of her breast, her hips, okay? They've got all of that, all the curves of her face, and they programmed us to believe this is pretty and this is ugly.